Okay. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm sorry, there is some
Yes,
network
ma'am.
problem here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, there is some network problem. Okay. So I'll just try to finish off the class as soon as possible. Right. So here, my dear students, we had looked into various companies, right, and various training and learning programs into various companies. We had looked into. I think I had completed Syndicate Bank last time. Yeah, students, Syndicate Bank was completed last time. Fine. Okay, so Accenture we had done, IBM we had done. Okay, so let us move on to the basics of training and learning here. Okay, so in today's volatile market driven business environment, employees will need the requisite skills to perform the job assigned to them if an organization has to deliver according to the customer's expectation on a sustained basis. Okay, so here it is very much required in this volatile market driven business environment. Okay, so volatile in the sense it keeps on changing, drastic changes do happen in a very short period of time, and the business is entirely market driven. Okay, so change is inevitable here. So here what happens is employees will need the requisite skills to perform the jobs assigned. Fine, so various jobs will be assigned and employees need the skills to perform those jobs. Okay, and that happens only when you have right training and learning in your organization. Okay, which automatically delivers the customer's expectation on a sustained basis. Fine, so since a company is a sum total of what employees achieve individually, organizations should do everything in their power to ensure that employees perform at their peak. Okay, so that can be done only when you upgrade your employees with new skills, okay, new knowledge and new abilities. Fine, so training basically is very important aspect when it comes to any organization. So training involves the use of formal process to impart knowledge. So training is a formal process, a very planned process, a formal process to impart knowledge and help people to acquire the skills necessary for them to perform their jobs satisfactorily. Okay, so that is what we could say about training. So training is nothing but a process. Okay, so training
Ma'am,
is a
you
process.
breaking,
My voice is
breaking, ma'am.
okay. Just a minute. Now is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So training basically involves the use of formal process basically to impart knowledge. So what happens in training is the imparting of knowledge does happen here. Transfer of knowledge happens and it helps people to acquire new skills, new knowledge and new abilities. Okay, which helps them in performing their jobs satisfactorily. Okay. Now coming down to learning. Okay. So learning is nothing but a continuous process. Learning never stops. Okay, so when you stop learning your life ends there. So learning never stops, it is a continuous flowing process. Okay, what does it do? It upgrades the skills, knowledge and ability of an individual, right? So learning basically pursues specific goals and it is driven from experience. Fine, so it pursues specific goals and it is very much driven from experience. Learning basically results in positive change in a behavior and cognition, obviously, as I had given example in the last class. Okay, so when you are in school your behavior is entirely different. Okay, when you come to the college your behavior starts changing, and when you come to a professional course your behavior starts changing. Okay, so here day on day, year on year, you start building positive attitude, you start transforming yourself from a student to a professional. Okay, and then to a responsible citizen. Fine, so here why does it happen? Because of the learning which you get, because of the knowledge, the skills, the ability which you pursue from various courses. Okay, various training programs. So that is basically known as learning. So learning results in positive changes in behavior and cognition. Okay, behavior and thinking. Okay, and the changes are sustained over a long period. So whatever you have learned, okay, through learning, whatever behavioral changes have come and whatever thinking changes have come in, that will be sustained for a very long life. Okay, now what is this development, my dear students? Development, it is nothing but It is an evolving process basically that helps people to rise from a current level of knowledge and competencies to the future state in which higher level competencies are required. So it entirely speaks about the career progression of an employee. Okay, so training, learning, and development, all these three things are very, very important in an organization if the organization wants to achieve success in near future. Okay, now moving on to learning and development. Okay, till now we have seen about training. Okay, let us move on to learning and development. Now, what is this learning? Okay, so learning organizations, we do hear this word term in HR. Okay, many a times we do hear this term learning organizations. All the organizations have become learning organizations. Okay, now what that learning organization is? Learning organization is one which has an ideal learning environment. Okay, so it the ideal learning environment is created within the culture of the company, perfectly in tune with the organizational goals. So what they are going to learn, they are going to learn specific knowledge, skill, and abilities which is required for achieving the goals of the organization. Okay, so that's what we could speak about the learning. Ankita. Fine. So here learning basically is perfectly tuned with organizational goals, and which is a place where people continually expand capacity to create the results that they truly desire. Okay, so where new and expensive patterns of thinkings are nurtured. So learning organizations, what they do continuously, they try to expand the capacity, okay, of the employees and create the results that are very much desired by the organization. As well, they have new and expensive patterns of thinking, they develop new and expensive patterns of thinking, okay, in the minds of the employees. And also they go in for collective aspirations. Okay, so they just try to build a teamwork. Okay, and people continually start learning, okay, to see the whole reality together. Okay, so that's what we speak about learning organizations. Okay, so everyone in the organization is bound to learn something or the other. They start continuous process of learning happens there. Okay, in tune with the goals of the organization. Okay, and sees to it that it increases the expands the capacity of the individual. Okay, individual competence, as well as it brings a very right pattern in thinking. Okay, and it says to it that teamwork is nourished. Fine, so that's what is learning organizations, my dear students. So learning organizations depends upon the mastery of 5 dimensions as follows. First dimension is system thinking. Okay, so they try to create a thinking system. Fine, they try to create a system of thinking, right? So wherein they create a mastery of a learning organization. So they try to see to it that all the departments coordinate and collaborate with each other, and they work as a system. Okay, that's what we say system thinking. Apart from that, personal mastery. Okay, so here that is very much required. So they try to look into various skills of the individuals. They have the competency mapping which is being done, which I'll be taking into the next slides. Okay, so personal mastery is achieved. So they see to it that they create expertise into various areas in the organization. Okay, expertise people into various skills. And mental models, they have many mental models. Based on those mental models, they try to create an environment of learning, and they try to build a shared vision of the organization. That means the vision of the organization is being framed by mutual understanding between the employer and employee, as well as the employee has the acceptance and the employer has the acceptance to achieve the vision of that particular organization. Okay, and team learning, as I said, they try to bring in teamwork and team learning. Okay, so that's what we speak about learning organizations. Okay, if you achieve mastery on these 5 dimensions, you are set to be a learning organization. Fine, then afterwards, why importance of learning, why learning is required. Okay, so as I said, it increases the productivity, right? One, and it brings in socialization process wherein teamwork is being nourished. So employee orientation and onboarding, everything is being put forth. So for that, learning is very much required. And for employee development also, learning is required. For improving the performance as well as engaging the employees in the organization, learning is very much required. If you do not have learning in your organization, you cannot have the socialization process, you cannot go in for employee orientation, you will not have your employees develop, they stay in one particular constant state. Okay, their performance doesn't increase, as well as engagement of employees is not being taken into consideration, as employees will be getting bored doing one work every time. Okay, so they'll not be trained, there is no changes. Okay, so that brings a boredom in the employees, and that engagement and enthusiasm in the employees will not be there. Fine. So apart, this is the importance of learning. Now moving on to learning theories. Okay, so here learning theories, it is andragogy first. Okay, so it is a process of helping adults to learn by engaging them in specific training activities like role play, simulation, etc. Okay, so this is one of the learning methodology. One is andragogy. Andragogy is none in the sense, it is a process by which it helps the adults. Okay, so here adults are being considered for learning here. So adults to learn by engaging them into specific training. Fine. So training, specific training activities like role play, simulations, etc. So adult learning is based on certain key principles. Now what is this adult learning, right? So adult learning is the capacity of an adult to learn. Fine. So this is based on certain key principles. First is prefer and is capable of self directed learning. Okay, so the employee should be very much engaged in the training. Okay, so for that he need to have preferred, that means it should not come by force. Attend the training program should not be by force, it should be by choice and acceptance. Okay, then only the learning will be successful. So here preference and the capability also is very much required. Okay, capability of the trainee to understand what is being trained. Okay, that is also required, as well as self directed learning. No one can force them to go and learn the things, right? So employees should have self direction through which they have to go themselves, register themselves, and then learn. Okay, that is very much required. If that is there, then only the transfer of knowledge happens. Okay, then has enough life experiences, which a good resource for learning. So here what happens is, the employees who will be the trainees will be having good experience in the workplace, so they will be a good resource of learning. Okay, so has learning needs linked with changing social roles. Okay, so learning needs keep on changing with the social roles, and it is inclined to apply the knowledge to solve the problem. Okay, so wishes to learn by internal rather than external factors, that is nothing but andragogy. Okay, then moving on to next, action learning. That is second theory of learning. Action learning basically uses work on a real project. Okay, so here action learning and is entirely based on work on real project or problem as a method to learn. So they take problem as a method to learn or projects as a method to learn. So learning occurs from experience here. Okay, so action learning, the learning occurs through experience, through reflection and action. It involves learning from actions which participants working in a small group are required to take, either to complete their project or to solve the issue. Okay, so action learning, many a times whenever you go to shopping malls and all. Okay, so the salesperson who will be there, a sales representative who will be there, he will be contracting with n number of people in a day. Okay, so a number of different type of people. Some people will be impatient, some people will have a lot of patience, some people will be asking a lot of questions. Okay, so here how that particular person handles each and every type of customer and sees to it that goodwill of the organization is being maintained in the mind of the customers. Okay, so that is what we could say action learning. So you just go and observe various things what he does. Okay, and the experiences what he gets. Okay, and also try to understand the actions what he does with the participants. Okay, so all this will really give you uh, a particular learning. Okay, so that's what we speak about the action learning. Fine. Then experiential learning, basic premises of experiential learning is that individuals learn best by experience. So what certain learning theories say that individuals learn best by the experience. Okay, so learning is that individuals learn best by experience. Fine. So learner is involved in a cyclical process of goal setting, planning, making experiments, deciding and acting, followed by observation, reflecting and reviewing. So here, based on your own experiences, you will be going for understanding the things, learning the things, right? And setting the goals and planning and making experiments, deciding and acting, followed by acting followed by observation, reflecting and learning, that is experiential learning. Then you have project based learning. So in this method, learning occurs through facing difficult and real problems. Okay, so here in the project you will may be having very difficult or real problems. Okay, so learners have to make a choice on problem solving approach and then take appropriate action. Fine. And then moving on to self directed learning, which is the next theory of learning. Okay, so in self directed learning, it is the individual participant who takes the responsibility for their own learning by selecting, assessing and managing their own specific learning needs. Okay, so here what happens is the individual participates, okay, in taking all the responsibilities on his own. Okay, by selecting, assessing and managing their own specific learning needs. Fine, that is what we say self directed learning. Then you have goal setting learning, so goal setting theory. Okay, so hard goals lead to higher level of task performance than the soft and easy. So hard goals, whatever we frame, are very difficult to achieve and it needs a lot of effort. But when it comes to soft goals, you can achieve it. Fine. Social cognitive theory. So this theory underlines the social context provides a strong platform for learning, as people can learn from observing others. Okay, so here what happens is you try to learn by observing others based on your own perception about the behavior of the other person. Okay, so that's what we say self cognitive theory. Fine. And then you have the design of training. Okay, so when it comes to design of training, first thing what comes into consideration is attention. Fine. So attention of the employees to be seeked whenever you are designing the training program, right? And you also see to it that you get inputs and feedbacks from various departments, people from various departments, and try to implement those decisions and come up to a mutual solution. Okay, but certain times what happens is it may not be possible. So that time what you have to do is you have to understand the pros and cons of the organization, employees of the organization, and then frame the training design. Okay, then afterwards attention, that is one of the aspect of design of training. Then design, how will you design the training program, who will be the trainer, okay, where will be the venue of the training, right? All these things are to be considered. Fine. So that decisions are being taken by the training manager. Okay, so attention, design, then afterwards development. Okay, so development is also very important aspect. Okay, then afterwards implementation, when you see certain changes you try to implement that particular method. And then finally evaluating. Okay, so these are the various designs of training. First one is attention, second one is design, development, implementation and evaluation. When it comes to attention, my dear students, one is the attention on the employee and the attention on the employer. So attention on the employer in the sense, what are the objectives of the organization, do I have the capacity right now to fulfill that particular requisition, is it possible? If it is possible, what are the various restrictions I need to take? First restriction we need to take is basically the working hours of the employees. Okay, so that is being taken into consideration. So training is planned in such a way that your working man hours are not disturbed. Okay, but still you go on for training your employees. In certain companies it may not be possible, it depends on the nature of work. Okay, designing I already put forth, development, implementation and evaluation. Okay, now moving on to next, training need assessment. Till here there are any problems, students? Any problem, students, still here?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
No, ma'am.
So training need, yeah, training need assessment, my dear students. Before conducting training in the organization, first thing the organization does is assess the need for training. Whether there is a need for training, if there is a need for training, what type of training is to be conducted. Okay, So first need assessment, first step is analyzing the organization. Okay, so you analyze the organization, the strategies of the organization, goals of the organization, objectives of the organization, assets of the organization, liabilities of the organization. Okay, everything is to be analyzed in a proper way. Okay, you analyze your organization, then going for analyzing the task what you will be doing. Okay, what are the various tasks which you are going to do, and then you have the person analysis, then you go in for identifying the analysis in a person. So organizational analysis, task analysis, and the person analysis are the three steps basically in training need assessment. Okay, then you have methods of training. Okay, so you have two types of method, one is on the job method and one is off the job method. Now what exactly is this on the job method? Okay, so on the job method basically it speaks about basically it speaks about moment of employee, learning while on the job itself. Okay, so this is entirely about learning while on the job itself. Okay, you are not taken separate from the work floor, you will be learning on the job itself. So numerous training methods can be used while a man is engaged in the process of productive work. Okay, so on the job methods basically are suitable for all levels of personals, right? For every level of personal, on the job method is suitable. So in order to ensure the success of on the job methods, the step to be taken followed by various are shown in this particular no in the next slides. Okay, so here are steps to be followed in OJT, that is on the job training. One is prepare the learner, first and most important thing. Okay, you have to prepare the learner to learn the program. Okay, and then present the operations, present various operations whatever are there, and then do a tryout, you do a trial. Okay, do a trial and show it to the employee, and then put the employee on work, and then finally you go for follow up of the training whatever you have given. Okay, that is what we speak about on the job training. In on the job training you have specific training. Okay, so in that specific training, specific job training, that means training related to a particular job only. Okay, so here you have experience. Okay, so it is the oldest method of on the job technique, right? So learning by experience cannot and should not be eliminated as a method of development. Okay, true as a sole approach. So it is wasteful time, consuming and consuming and inefficient. Fine. So in some cases, method has proved to be very effective, efficient, though it should be followed by other training methods to make it more meaningful. So experience, it has to have the support of other training methods for it to be successful. So experience, that is one of the on the job methods in under specific job category. And then you have coaching. So coaching is nothing but on the job coaching by superiors in is an important and potentially effective approach if the superior is properly trained and oriented. Okay, so the technique involves direct personal instructions and guidance, usually with extensive demonstration, and continues and the minimum of the problem minimization of the problem of learning transfer from there to practice. Okay, so the danger is in this method lies in the possible neglect of in the possible neglect to coaching by supervisor. Okay, so we have all seen the cricket coach. What he does, he identifies the strengths and weaknesses of the candidates. He identifies where the strength can be utilized. Okay, where the weakness can be filled up. Okay, that everything is he analyzes, and then finally he chooses various roles and responsibility for each and every player. Okay, so that's what we say on the job technique, that is coaching, wherein coaching by superior is an important and potential effective approach if the supervisor is properly trained and oriented, right? Then you have the next one, that is understudy. Understudy is nothing but the method is considered as somewhat in different approach from those described previously, in that of a certain person is specifically designated as a heir apparent. Okay, so understudy method makes the trainee an assistant to the current job holder. So understudy method is you are working under a superior or an expertise in that particular area. You will be working under him as a junior, an officer, whatever it is, and then you will try to observe and learn the things. Okay, so that is what called as on the understudy. So if decisions are discussed with the understudy, so he she can become informed on the policies and theories involved. Okay, so advantage of this method is that training is conducted in a practical and realistic situation. However, disadvantage are many. For example, if a method tends to perpetuate mistakes and deficiencies of existing managerial practices, the understudy are frequently neglected by those they assist. Fine. So on the other hand, on the job technique is a world. Um, on the other approach, the on the job technique is job instruction training system. Okay, which was developed which was developed during Second World War. Okay, so here what happens is job instructions are being given and you have to work according to those instructions. Okay, so trainers first train the supervisors who in turn train the employees. So these are the various on the job methods under the category of specific jobs. Okay, then you have position rotation. Fine. Position rotation is nothing but rotating the positions from one specialization to another specialization, or if you could say one task to another task. Okay, so rotation becomes less useful as specializations proceed. For few people have the breadth of technological knowledge and skills to move on functional area to another. Fine. So that's what we say position rotation. You keep on rotating the position of a person. Basically this happens in the bank. Okay, apart from that, special projects, right? So if you could see about special projects, there are various special projects which are being given. Okay, and you have to work out on those special projects, right? And there your performance is being judged. So training is being basically given to make you understand about that particular project, how to go and handle that particular project. Apart from that, you have selective reading. Selective reading is the individuals in the organization can gather and advance their knowledge and background those selective through selective reading. Okay, so reading may include professional journals, and executives become members of the professional associations and they exchange their ideas with others. So this is a good method for assimilating knowledge. However, some executives claim that it is very difficult to find out time for much reading other than absolute required in the performance of the job. Okay, so that's what we say selective reading, right? And then you have the apprentice. Okay, that is the fifth on the job technique. Fine. So here apprentice is nothing but appropriate training can be tracked back to medieval times when those intended on learning trade skills. So apprentice is basically focusing on the trade skills which make them master in that particular craftsman. Okay, so that is very much required. Yeah. So in early period, apprentice was not received to artisans, but was also used in training for a professionals including medicine, law, dentistry, and teaching. Okay, so here apprentice is a process by which people become skilled workers. Okay, usually through a large number of skilled craftsmen who can be trained by the system. So such training is either provided in the organization or imparted by the government organizations. So in order to regulate and control the training of apprentice, Government of India passed the Apprentice Act 1961. Okay, in the twin major objectives of which are promotion of new skills and improvement of trends and occupations, right? Then you have vestibule schools. Okay, schools or vestibule training. Okay, the large organizations frequently provide what are described as vestibule schools. Okay, so primarily to actually shop experience. Fine. As far as possible, shop conditions are widened. Okay, then vestibule schools are widely used in training for and office clerical and office jobs, as well as for factory production jobs. Such training is usually shorter and less complex than the adaptable to the apprentice system. So vestibule training is relatively expensive, but these costs are justified if the volume of training is large or if union high standard results are important, right? So that is what we say vestibule training. Then you have multiple management. Okay, multiple management is nothing but it emphasizes use of committees to increase the flow of ideas and increase and less experience the managers and to train them the position of greater responsibility. So program was developed by the McCormick and Company of Baltimore, USA. Company claimed that the plan has increased employee efficiency, reduced labor turnover and absenteeism. See, this is the beauty of training, my dear students. When you give proper training to your employees will be satisfied staying in your organization, and they turn to stay for a longer period of time. Okay. So in this method, a junior board is authorized to discuss any problem that the senior board may discuss, and its members are encouraged to put their mind on work to the business as a whole rather than concentrate to their specific areas. Okay, they try to train them to look into overall business of the organization, overall productivity of the organization. Then you have various offline methods, that off the job methods. First of the job method is special courses and lectures. Okay, so I hope you all are in this, right? So special courses and lectures, fine. So in this method, trainee have to leave their workplace and devote their entire time to the development objectives. Okay. So in these methods, development of trainees is primary, and any unsuitable work produced during training is secondary, right? So following training techniques are used of the job. First training technique which is used of the job is the special courses and lectures. So lecturing is most traditional form of formal training method, fine. So special courses and lectures can be identified and arranged by a business organization. Now this particular method, my dear students, lecturing, is used by many of the banks, basically the government banks. Okay, they use this particular method of training their employees, that is special courses and lectures. Okay, so here basically courses which the organization themselves established to be taught by members of the government. So here some organizations have regular instructions assigned to their training and development departments, such as Tata and Hindustan Lever in a private sector, and Life Insurance Corporation, State Bank of India, and nationalized commercial banks, Reserve Bank of India, Hindustan Steel, Fertilizer Corporation, and many others in public sectors. Okay. So the second approach to special courses and lectures is for organization to work with university. Okay, to work with university or institute in establishing a course or series of courses to be taught by instructor of these institutions. Okay, so third approach is for the organizations to send personnel to programs established by the university, fine. So that's what we speak. So here a lot of fellowship programs are being put forth. So fellowship programs which were established in 1931, okay, at Massachusetts, so Institute of Technology, USA in India. Such courses are organized frequently by the Institute of Management Administration, Administrative Staff College of India, and National Productivity Council, National Institute of Transportation Logistics, All India Management Association, and some of the other organizations and universities. So that is what known as special courses and lectures. Fine. Then you have conferences. Conferences is nothing but this is also an old method, but still a favorable training method. Fine. So in order to escape the limitations of straight lecturing, you may go in for organizations having adopt the guided discussions type of conference in their training program. So here what happens is they will be framing a conference for large group of audience. So conference may include bus sessions that divide conferences into small groups or 4 or 5 intensive groups. Okay, then the small groups then report back with the whole coherence with the conditions of the end questions, right? So this is what we say conference. I need not explain too much of conference to you all. Okay, then you have case study, which you will be doing every now and then. So this technique which has been developed, this case study technique was being developed and popularized by Harvard Business School, USA. Okay, case study technique was developed and harmonized by Harvard Business School, USA, which is one of the most common form of training. Okay, so a case is written account by a trained reporter and analyst seeking to describe the real decision making. Okay, so here what happens is basically this method basically increases the trainee's power of observation, helping him or her to ask questions and look for a broader range of problems, right? So when there is a two-way communication, what happens is it bridges the gap, fine. So here case is being put forth in front of the employees, and employees have to understand it and sort out their particular problem. Okay. In case any additional relevant information is sought by the participant, it is provided by them. Okay. So this is what we speak about the case studies. Then you have, my dear students, brainstorming. Brainstorming is nothing but a method. Brainstorming is nothing but a method of simulating trainees to creative thinking. Okay. So here what you do is you just try to extract things from the brain and try to make the individual very much positive. Fine. So that is what we say. This approach developed by this brainstorming approach was developed by Alex Osborne. Okay. Then he seeks to reduce inhibiting forces by providing a maximum of group participations with a minimum of criticisms. Okay. So problem is posed and ideas are invited. Quality rather than quantity is primary objective. Okay. So ideas often develop. So later these ideas are critically examined. Okay. So all this is what we say brainstorming. Everyone has different ideas in their head. Okay. All cannot come to the same platform. Then laboratory training. Okay. It is very understandable. Adds to conventional training by providing situations in which the trainees themselves experience through their own interaction some of the conditions they are talking about. In this way, the more or less experiment on themselves, laboratory training is more concerned about changing the individual behavior and the attitude. Okay. Then you have simulation. Am I going too fast, students?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Little bit slow. Go
Okay.
little.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So here, my dear students, you have the laboratory method. Fine. So laboratory method adds to conventional training by providing situations in which trainee themselves experience through their own interactions. Okay. Some of the conditions they are talking about. So here what happens is trainee goes in to understand the situations. They try to experiment the things by themselves. Okay. And then they try to learn the things. In laboratory training, you have simulation. Okay. So it is the popular method when it comes to management development programs. Right? Basically, for middle and top level management, whenever they go for training of laboratory training, they go in for simulation training. Simulation is nothing but you try to present the real situation of the organization in the training session. So in the training session, you bring the real situation of the organization. Okay. And then it entirely covers varying complexities and roles for the participants. Okay. So it creates a whole field of organization, relates participants through key roles in it, and it gives the key roles to the participants, and the participants have to deal with a specific situation. It is similar to role play. Only in role play you are playing the role here, but here entire situation is created in such a way that it looks similar to the real situation which happens in the organization. That is nothing but called as simulation. Okay. Then you have in simulation you have role playing and gaming. Okay. So I hope role playing is very well understood. Role playing is nothing but wherein uh, the employee is the trainee is given a particular role, a particular situation, and he has to see himself into that particular role and try to come out with the solution for that particular situation. That is nothing but role play. Okay. So this is one of the idea of simulation. And then gaming, we all know what is gaming. We every time go and try to play games. Okay. So here you are driving a car, okay, by various buttons, but still you feel that you are driving a car, but you are not driving a car. You are just pressing the button and moving the car from here and there. So that's what we say simulation exercises, right? And then sensitive training. Okay. That is again one of the laboratory sorry, one of the method of training of the job method of training. So sensitivity training is nothing but wherein it goes into advocating the religious zeal in their enhancement with the training group of experience. Okay. So here what happens is sensitivity training, they try to deal with sensitive issues which are there in the organization. Okay. Some of its critics match this favor in their attacks on and on the techniques. Okay. So criticisms and experiences, somewhat revised approach is being put forth, and there is a team development which is being taken into consideration. So it was first used by National Training Laboratory at Bethel, USA. Okay, so training groups called themselves as T groups. Since then, it is used to be it is to be used. Okay. It has been extended to the organization, universities, and institutions. That's what we say sensitivity training. Okay. Then you have electronic performance support system, that is EPSS. Okay. So here what happens in EPSS? Okay. So in this EPSS, the set of computerized tools and displays which automate training. Okay. So here there are set of computerized tools and displays which do automate training, phone support and documentation. Fine. So they are used to help employees in not only learning and memorizing substantial chunk of details which are difficult to memorize, but otherwise very much necessary. So this particular EPSS system helps basically in understanding the things in a proper way, as well as memorizing and learning substantial chunks of details step by step. Okay. Then teletraining is one of the method of the job training. Teletraining is nothing but a group of employees located at a remote location. So there will be group of employees which are located at remote locations into different locations, are taught by the trainer in a central location via television hookups. Okay. So your television hookups are being put forth, and trainer will be training the employees. Okay. So it is very economical method. Fine. So certain companies do go in for using this type of methods. Fine. Right. So then you have video conferencing. Fine. Video conferencing, we all know what is video conferencing. It is nothing but use of audio and visual equipments, right? So video conferencing enables the trainers sitting at one location to communicate live with trainees in the other side. So it is PC based video cameras play a vital role in this particular method. This method basically saves time and is economical also. Then you have MP3 instant messaging, right? So this day some organizations encourage their employees to use instant messaging as a quick learning device. Organizations usually purchase iPods, okay, to the for the trainees and the training department, and then has an internet audiobook provider uh, which creates an audio learning site within the organization's firewall. Okay. So employees use it to download training materials to their iPods. That is nothing but the trainings. Okay. So that is what we could speak about the MP3 or instant messaging, right? Then you have slides and videotapes. Okay. Slides and videotapes is nothing but it is a special media rooms. Okay. So here, although this method is both thought provoking as well as interesting, so it does not have the provision for trainees to put questions. Okay. So in this, the trainer will be explaining everything. There is no provision for trainees to put questions or have an interaction with the trainer. That is one of the major shortcoming of this particular method. Okay. So some organization use slide tapes, films and so on to supplement the program, right? Then programmed learning, that is one of the method of the training. So programmed learning, my dear students, here it is nothing but it lets the trainee learn at his or her own pace. Fine. So immediate feedback on accuracy of his or her answers to the questions are presented to him after presenting facts and problems after learning the things, so which determines what will be the next question to the trainee. So some organizations follow intelligent tutorial systems, okay, ITS, which indicates the questions and approaches prove effective or ineffective, and then adjust the instrumental sequence accordingly. So programmed learning, these are learning programs which are already stored in the computer, and then whenever the employee wants, he can download it and he can see and learn at his own pace. And then finally there will be a feedback session which will be taken immediately, which shows whether the trainee has learned everything or no, what is the accuracy of learning of the trainee. Then audio visual based training, so it is nothing but the technique such as films, PowerPoint presentation, video conferencing, DVDs, videotapes are commonly used, okay, in this particular technique. okay, and it exposes trainees to events which are not easily demonstrable in live lectures, or when it is a costly proposition to move trainer from place to place, and that too frequently, right? So here this becomes as a boon for the trainer to make trainees understand things in a very better way. Then you have HRIS learning portals, okay. So HRIS learning portal, it is nothing but a business portal. Learners can get the tools needed to analyze data inside and outside their organization and see customized content they need. Fine. So these days, many employees conduct the training program through learning portals. Fine. So learning portal suppliers create special courses for an organization's employees and customers. Okay, so organization employees and customers, okay. And then basically when it comes to the HRIS learning portals, the organizations make efforts towards integrating e-learning systems with the organizations overall enterprise wide information system. Okay, so corporate comes down with the e-learning system. So this enables the organization to synchronize employees training with their performance appraisal, succession planning, skill inventory, and so on. Okay, so HRIS learning portals are one of the most used learning portals for training the employees. Okay, then you have e-learning, right? So in this method, it ensures that trainee can use the extra control that web-based learning should provide. So it has also to be ensured that trainee knows the control and tries to understand what exactly they want to learn, how they can learn the learnings, how they can change the learning sequence. Okay, so today basically the trend is toward blended learning solutions and not a choice of conventional versus online training. Okay, so here e-learning can be improved in number of ways. So you have blend of learning, you can have download the material, read the material, or you can have a live interaction with the trainer. Okay, there's this blending of learning which is taking place here. Then you have mentoring. Okay, mentoring nothing but senior managers basically assume the responsibility for grooming a junior person. So mentor basically is a guide, counselor, teacher, developer of skills and intellect. So supporters and facilitators. Fine. So basically what happens here is the seniors mentor the juniors. Okay. So that is what we speak about mentoring. And then you have informal learning. Okay, so here in informal learning, basically employer do not arrange informal learning except that they can place certain tool in a common area which can be made use for work related discussions. Okay, so that's what we say informal learning. Most SMEs prefer informal training because it involves less cost, besides being at the heart of the SME's culture and productivity outcomes. Okay, so it can also be easily integrated into daily operations with presumptions of being less costly. So that is one of the uh, type of training. Okay, then you have method of training. Then you have distance and internet based training. We all know what is distance and internet based training. So there are various distance learning methods such as teletraining, modern internet based courses, video conferencing. All these are distance learning and internet based training. So in case if there are large number of trainees located at different places are to be taught, this method can be used. Okay, so these are the various methods of training. Now moving on to the other methods of training, that is syndicate groups. So here there are multiple groups or syndicates as against one large group, and learning is through facilitating interaction. So groups start interacting with each other and they start learning new things. Okay, so programmed learning is again one method. Programmed learning is nothing but a step by step method. Okay, so here subject matter is broken down into small discrete steps and carefully organized in a logical sequence so that learning is becomes very much rapid for the students. That means you can learn fast. Okay, that's what we say programmed learning. A very good example is the syllabus which is being set for you. Okay, so here it is cut down into different modules. Okay, and then they have the final objective of that particular program. Business games is one of the method of training. So here classroom exercises require the trainee to gather information, analyze them, and take decisions. That is what business games. It is almost similar to case study and role plays. Behavioral modeling, this is also one of the method of training. So here participates with the model who demonstrate critical behaviors. Okay, So here a model is being given. The participants have to demonstrate critical behavior to the model and also practice practice suitable skills which are required for demonstrating those behaviors. Okay, and this is suitable for teaching skills basically. Okay, then you have e-learning. Okay, if I speak about e-learning, it describes the sphere of use of technology. So here e-learning is nothing but use of technology in delivering the learning and training programs. Okay, through CD-ROM, internet, intranet, wireless, and mobiles. Okay, so there are three varieties of e-learning. One is synchronous learning. Okay, one is asynchronous training. Okay, and then blended learning. Synchronized is nothing but it works on fixed time availability. Okay, so trainees time availability, fixed time is being taken, common time is being fixed. Participants interact live with the instructor through the web. That is nothing but called as synchronized training. Now what we are doing at present is synchronized training. Okay, so afterwards when you speak about asynchronized training is nothing but it is very flexible as it lets the trainees work on the WBT, web based training, at one's own pace. Okay, and there is no real time interaction with the instructor. So you are not having live interaction with the instructor, but instructor will prepare a video and then he will be giving posting it on the web, and then whenever you want you can see it and learn at your own pace. That is asynchronized training. Blended learning is nothing but it is a blend. Okay, so it combines online learning, face to face interaction, and also other methods for distribution of learning content. Okay, so it's already 2 o'clock. Okay, yeah, students, till now here is it understood? Any doubts, Nayana, Kirti, Priya?
Ma'am, vestibule school.
Vestibule?
School. Explain one.
Vestibule school. Okay, so here my dear students, when it comes to vestibule training or vestibule schools, it is almost similar to the simulations. Okay, so what happens is they go in for identifying various methods or measures, right? Am I audible, students? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah, students, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
Yes.
You are
vestibule
audible.
is nothing but okay. So today there is a lot of problem with the network. Okay, so vestibule training is a method basically in which okay, vestibule training is a method basically in which trainee learns on the actual or simulated equipments. For example, if I say if a new machine is being brought in the organization, okay, so similar to that particular machine, the same type of machine is prepared and put in the training room. Okay, so or maybe it in a software it is being prepared of how to work on that particular machine, right? So it is nothing but trainees learn on the actual or simulated equipments they will use on the job. Okay, but are trained off the job. Okay, so there will be a vestibule training room. Okay, which is very much costly because you have to install the same type of machine in that particular room, similar type of machine in that particular room, or you have to install a software wherein similar type of machine is being prepared on the computer, and you try to explain to the employees how to work on that particular machine, and one by one employees will practice on how to work on that particular machine, and the same practice they will go and implement it in the workplace. That is nothing but vestibule training. So you are creating the same environment which is there in the job. Okay, it is almost similar to the simulation. So what happens is whatever situations do happen in the job, the same situation is created in the training room, and then employees are being made to face those situations. Okay, if I say about customers service representative, or maybe if I speak about the sales representatives. Okay, so what they do is they try to create a same situation, they try to put a table, they try to make customers, okay, they try to bring in the customers the employees will play the role of the customers. Afterwards, the employee, various people, the employees will be given various roles, different type of customers, and how to handle those customers. It is demonstrated there practically. So that's what we say vestibule training. I hope it is very clear to you all.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it is same as simulation, my dear students. Fine. Any other questions? Any other questions, my dear students?
Ma'am, on the job training means while doing a job, they will learn all these things. They will take
Yes.
training.
Yes, there is no separate training room. Okay, on
Yes.
the job technique in the sense while doing the work in the workplace, okay, they will train the employees. That is nothing but on the job training. Off the job training is employees are taken separately over to a training room and they are being trained there. That is nothing but off the job techniques. Okay, so in this on the job techniques and off the job techniques, you have on the job, it is specific job, experience, coaching, understudy. That is nothing but on the job method. So if you could speak about cricket, okay, so what happens is they are not going to take them in a separate room and teach how to bat and how to ball and how to score runs and all those things, right? So what they do is they put them on the field itself and they teach there, they coach them there itself. That is what it is on the job methods. Okay, so but if you could see the banks, okay, various people will be rotating from one job to another job, right? They are not being taken to a separate training room and they are being trained on how to be a cashier, how to give answers to the inquiries of the customers, okay, how to prepare the accounts, how to open the accounts, everything. That training is not being given there. So what they do is they put them on various jobs, right? That is nothing but job rotation. So while working itself they learn. That is on the job methods. But off the job method is they take them separately to a particular room and then they train them. Okay, right? Any
Okay,
other
ma'am.
questions, students? Okay, so here, my dear students, let me end this particular session here. Okay, so any other questions which you have, you just keep it in your mind. In the next session, when I start at the start itself, I'll just ask you whatever questions are there. You can come down with your questions. Okay, and then probably it may take another 2-3 classes for me to end the second module, and then we'll start with the third module. Okay, thank you very much, students.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am.